Yeah, you could put that down now. Put it in your drawer for another 54 years, brother. What's up, guys? Will deVry here. My friend Dominic Zamprogna, who is a heartbroken Leafs fan this morning. And I am not, I'm happy we won, but probably like the players, I'm not looking forward for the Canadians to go against Hellebuck. So just like the Jets are probably not looking forward to going against Price. So good morning, everybody. And happy Habs Day.
What's up? What's up, fellow Canadians and fellow Torontonians? And but you realize most of the people that are going to watch this are probably Leafs fans, right?
I don't know. We could have some. Yeah, well, we could have. It does air in the Montreal Gazette too. So.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Look, you guys played well. The reason I didn't say anything. Look, Toronto's the better team. Toronto is the better team. Again, the regular season means nothing when it comes to playoff time. Everyone knows that. They got outplayed. I do think it hurt losing your captain and Muzzin in halfway through the game 6. But Leafs had their opportunity, man. They could have finished it up in Toronto in game 4 or game 5, and they didn't. So, masters of their own fate.
Well, as Kevin Biasca on Sportsnet, he was saying that the Leafs are built for the regular season. The Canadians were built for the postseason, the playoffs. Actually, Sherry said that. Don Cherry said that a while back. He said the same thing. I liked your point that they went out and got essentially a career backup in Campbell. I mean, he got hot when he first got there, but I think that first goal rattled him bad last night.
It did. That's his weakness, apparently. Like, he just gets in his head a little bit. But he stood on his head for the first 10 minutes of game 6. That game could have been 3-0 after 10 minutes for the Habs. And he stood on his head, and that gave them a chance. You run with the hot goaltender, I think. Like, if you got a guy who's playing well, you play him. Like, you had Freddie Anderson sitting on the bench, who's your starter, and he, they didn't trust him enough because he was coming back from injury. And I think you got to go out and get a great goaltender. Now, is that easy to find a great goaltender? It's not. It's really tough to find a top 5-6 goaltender in the league.
No, they invested in Anderson. They invested in Anderson. Did they send him down to the Marlies to play a couple games before he came back up?
He played like 2 or 3 down there, and I think he played 1 or 2 back up, and he just wasn't, just not the same. I mean, having said that, you got your leaders who are out. You got Montreal able to zero in on the big guns, and they didn't deliver, man. And there's not much you can say. They didn't deliver. And you got a guy like Foligno, who I said last night to my brother-in-law, we were talking, I said, there's no way this guy's in good shape right now. He came back early. If this was regular season, Foligno wouldn't be playing. Yeah. And sure enough, Keefe said after the game, he was nowhere near 100%.
I'm sure a lot of the players on both sides were dealing with injuries that, we won't know until they're done. That being said, I know that Toronto was missing their big, one of their big guys in Tavares because, to your point and a couple of other people's points, they're able to zero in on the guys that are left, and Marner and Matthews. But Nylander got it done, and he didn't get anywhere than ice time that the other guys were doing. I don't know why they didn't give more ice time, but the Canadians still won because of they had Price, and we don't have any guys that are capable of winning the Rocket Richard Trophy. But
man, I go back to that one save he made off Marner. It was a one-timer off Marner where he came across the crease.
Yeah, that blocker. Was beautiful. Oh,
that was the turning point for me in the whole series, man. Marner nets that. This series is done. Like, once that's in your head, man, as a scorer, damn.
The guys last night,
break through.
The guys commentating last night were saying, just let Hyman take the shot, cover everybody else.
Yeah.
He was just cold as ice. But that's got to be frustrating for you guys, man. I mean, because I know you, everybody was pretty confident. You were confident. The players were confident. All the analysts were really confident. Well, the
analysts are confident going in, and everyone's confident going in thinking we got a good enough team to beat Montreal for sure, because we were 20 points ahead during the regular season. I think the minute you take out Tavares, the series changes. It has to change. He's one of your best players. Like you lose, if you guys lost one of your top players, you got to reevaluate. Like it's not like they came back to all these analysts. I saw everyone giving these analysts shit. It's not like you came back to these analysts and said, "Oh, well, you guys said that we're going to win in 6 and 5." Well, if you got a healthy Leafs team versus a healthy Habs team, you might win in 6. They almost did it without Tavares in 5. It just it was there for the taking.
Yeah, you can't take it away too much from the Canadians because they did have them up 3-0 without a 3-1 without Tavares. But yeah, that's got to be painful. I was losing my mind after Game 4 because on Twitter because I knew the Canadians could do it. I knew they could win.
Oh yeah.
I knew they could win, and it was driving me insane that it was almost a complete flip. Like I thought there was no passion from them in Game 4, and for whatever reason, they turned around in Game 5, 6 and 7. But the Leafs almost didn't show the heart and the urgency. It was almost like a complete reversal.
You're demoralized, right? You're demoralized, yeah. And then the momentum shift was there, and then you got guys who feel like they can't score, and another team that starts believing. You know, when you lose the belief, and it's got to be demoralizing. I mean, I never played hockey. My parents, I asked for hockey skates. They got me soccer cleats, so I ended up playing soccer my whole life. But even as
once you start with the skates, you got to buy the rest of it.
That's right, dude. It's an expensive sport, man.
And I can't imagine just the pain of going through all those losses, all those stats that all those number crunchers are bringing up this morning. Now they have the longest streak, other than the Rangers back in the day and all the rest of it. And you're like, oh my God, that's got to be brutal. But
I mean, look, it was going to be challenging for either team when you go 7 games and you got Winnipeg sitting there resting up. It's going to be a tough grind for Montreal, and it was going to be tough anyway because you're going to run into Hellebuck. Like I said, he's a good goalie. It's going to be a good matchup, man. I'm like, again and again, now I'm rooting for Canada. I just want to see a Canadian team, keep going and moving forward.
At least we know a Canadian team will get into the top 8 now. That's for sure.
That's right. Top.
Yeah. We're down to 16 now.
Right.
Yeah. So the next round will be 8. So we'll see if we can get down to 4. So Dom, how do you see what are you reading for next year? Like, I know the Leafs fans are probably freaking out right now and everybody needs to be fired. Like I was saying after Game 4, everybody needs to be fired.
There was a lot of you weren't the only one. There were a lot of Habs fans saying that too. Look, I don't think you do much. I think I think Dubastati brought in enough sandpaper players, and I thought he did too. You got Simmons in there who I think had enough in the tank. You made a move for Riley Nash at the deadline, which he never saw any ice time in the playoffs, so I didn't really understand that. I still think you need another D. You need a good, solid D. Like if you had a Drew Doughty type guy,
but every team. Anybody that's high priced?
I don't think so. And in my heart of hearts, I'd like to see them keep the core together because I think you see what player you are, man, and you come back, and then you really realize like it's not enough. Like the first year. Matthews, they lost to the Capitals when it was Matthews' second year, and no one expected the Leafs to run the Capitals 7 games, and it was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Maybe we're closer than we thought. And then all of a sudden, you have expectations in that city, where it's like, yeah, we're right in the mix, and then all of a sudden you're not. You realize every year, well, we're still 1 or 2 guys away. You're still a goaltender and maybe a solid, punishing defenseman away. So I don't know what you got to give up to get it. You got to give gold to get gold. I remember back in the day, the Leafs in the 90s, they wanted to get that player that got them over the hump. And Cliff Fletcher was like, everyone wants Doug Gilmour. Well, we're not giving up Doug Gilmour. So who else do you give up? Like, who are they going to come for? They're going to come for one of your top guys, Nylander, Matthews, Marner. If another team can afford them, they cost a lot of money. Tavares isn't going anywhere. I like to think Matthews and Marner aren't going anywhere. That leaves Nylander probably as your chip, your gold that you have to maybe part with to get that sandpaper player that's in golden goal or golden D.
The good thing about those players, those veterans that have had experience and maybe have won a cup, that are 35, 36 years old. I don't think you need to give up a Nylander for them. So I think you could
No.
probably sign them in free agency. So,
Yeah.
but I would think if they're going to do anything, you know, Thornton will be gone. They'll bring in another cup winner. And, you know, you got to wonder if the coach will be around next year.
I think Keefe probably gets one more opportunity. But here's the thing that needs to happen above and beyond all. They need to sage the living shit out of that stadium. Someone needs to go through there with a witch doctor and freaking sage the crap out of that joint, man, because there is some serious stuff going on. Forces at work that I think are you know, you look at the giveaways that led to the OT winners. So uncharacteristic of an NHL player.
So, Dom, who you got for the Jets Canadians?
I'm sorry, man. I got to go Jets. I think again they're going to be rested up. I think they had a really convincing 4-game sweep of the Oilers, and I feel like Hellebuck's going to put up a little bit better. Mind you can't blame anything on Jack Campbell, but he did let in that odd kind of weak goal like last night. You know, the 5-hole, like that kind of can't happen. And I don't think Hellebuck lets in that kind of goal. So I think you got Jets in 6, unfortunately for you guys.
On paper and sort of in theory, I sort of have to agree with you. But I think the Canadians again, with this blend, and I have to give credit. I do want to add this. I gave the Canadians a lot of shit for starting Stahl, who's looks like he's skating with a brick on like a couple of pounds of bricks on his back.
Well, him and Joe Thornton too, same thing. You know?
But Stahl, I have to Bergevin, although I disagree with a lot of his stuff, he does pick good players. It's just picking players that come together at the right time to form the right nucleus to move forward. And they stuck to their guns with these veterans, with Stahl, and the rest of the guys at Edmondson, and they stuck with them, and they did really well, man. I mean, I'd like to see Romanoff play against the Jets, though. I have to say, I'd like to see Romanoff down there, and keep. I like Evans on the wing. I think they have a chance with their young and old. That mix of excitement. They're on a roll. They've got momentum. They've got the confidence right now. I mean, they just beat a really good Leafs team, and so. I think they can win, but I think it'll take all 7 to do it.
Yeah, I think it'll take 7 for the Habs, 6 for the Jets. And the only thing I think the Habs do have, they got momentum, nice balance of young and old right now. The only thing you want to worry about is some of those old guys like the Petries and stuff like that. Do they have enough in the tank? You know what I mean? After going 7 games with the Leafs, do they have enough? Yeah,
they were right. They were playing a lot of minutes there at the end for sure. So that's why I'd like to see Romanoff play a little bit, give some rest to somebody that needs it.
Yeah.
And,
so until next year.
Oh no.
Until next year, it was already broken. I fixed it, and I shouldn't have done that. That probably jinxed.
What are you going to fix it every year?
I'm going to fix it, and not until they actually get to hold it up. But it's been fun doing this. I owe you a case of beer, I believe.
Yeah,
of your choice.
I'm going to call you from Randy's liquor store up in Edgewater, Florida.
Let's go back to Randy's.
You can give him your credit card number for my case of
yeah. I'll do that over the phone. And this is fun, dude. And we can do this again maybe as the series with the Jets goes on as well. But let us know what you guys think of our picks, and be nice on Twitter, please, to me and Will. Be nice. You're going to be nice to Will because the Habs won, and you're going to be nice to him. But try being nice to the Leaf fan, okay? We've been through it a lot. All right?
All right. Let's go, Canada. Let's go, Habs.
Yeah. Go Habs. Go Jets. Good series. Canada hockey.